Oh, okay. It didn't happen. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Blerdkast Live. Tonight is a very special episode because I have the founder and one of the directors of Atlanta's most hot up and coming con, the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. We have so much to get into, but before we do, if you have not, please go ahead and leave a like on this video. Subscribe to both channels, Moana Nui and Blerdkast. And if you haven't become a channel member and help support the journey to BlerdCon 2026, that's happening this weekend. But before we begin, it's time for a moment of joy. How you doing?
Good evening, Mark. Good evening, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I will be your co-host and excited attendee of the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. And I'm just here to find out more about it. And I hope that everybody that's out there in internet land enjoys the show tonight. So stay tuned. It should be good.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and introduce our two returning guests. They've been on the show a lot. They need no introduction, but we'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves. Go ahead, Mr. Tony Cade.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Tony Cade. For those of you who don't know me, I've been involved in Atlanta fandom since the mid-'80s. Started off as a staff photographer at Atlanta Fantasy Fair, moved over to Dragon Con, started a shop 30 years ago. Originally, before you guys were doing podcasts, I was doing the community access TV. I am the OG Blerd. I was attending Dragon Con when there were less than 10 black people attending.
Okay. Go ahead, DTM.
My name is DTM, aka Delta Tango Mike. I am a 2D illustrator, been in the art business for over 30 years. And like Tony, I remember the Dragon Con days from a long time ago. I've been a fan of comics, animation, and games, and that's what I focus my art in today. I have been supportive of the Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo in graphic design, marketing, and promotional design. And so I am very happy to be here hanging out with all you cool folks.
Thank you. Let's just jump into it. First of all, thank y'all for just coming on the show. I know this is a little last minute, but you know I love promoting you guys whenever you guys are out doing the most nerdy things in Atlanta. So let's talk about it. The Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo.
Whoa. You got to slow down a little bit, man. We just talked about, Dan over here doing all these graphics and everything. So you got to show that cool, video graphic that he threw together. Get that segue going.
All right, yeah, let's get the segue going. Mr. Guy in the chair, if you can, could you please pull up the video?
Yeah, now I feel pumped. Yeah, okay.
That's actually a really good graphic right there, sir. Thank you.
That's dope. You know what? I wanted to ask about that when you, DTM, when you said, you were talking about your graphics and everything and about being involved with Atlanta Sci-Fi, because if you move us all to the side, I wanted to ask, this is your drawing, right?
No. Somebody else did the drawing, but very amazing skills of the artist. What is it? Laveda?
That's Laveda O'Neal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like I said, she used to be an Atlanta artist and a New York artist and a Texas artist. Now she's down in Florida being an artist. Strange thing about it, though, she's such a talented artist, but she's actually a tech head. So she got that left and right brain going on. This is a woman who is extremely talented. And I was definitely happy to get her to do this original design for us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very nice.
So it makes it easy to create awesome graphics once you have a cool illustration like this.
Once you have the base and you're okay, we can build off of it.
Oh yeah. Amazing colors, amazing figure. Nice. Yes.
The music was nice too. It was giving Hollywood trailer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's an action. It's coming in. Get ready.
Speaking of getting ready, what are some of the things that people should really be looking forward to this year in the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Yes, it is.
I mean, we've got guests, we've got panels, we've got exhibitions, we've got gaming, we've got demos. I mean, we've got everything. We got an after party. You know, for those of you and stuff that are thinking you might get a little tipsy or you need to like change costumes, you know, we got deals and stuff with the local Hilton that's offering rooms for $99 a night with a hot breakfast for everybody in your room. So if you want to pack them in there, everybody gets to eat.
That's a deal because brunch anywhere in Atlanta is $50.
Oh yeah. All right, so we got it going on. Like I said, right now and stuff, we've got 2 Emmy Award-winning artists that are going to be guests. All right. Tentatively, we've got Andrea Barnes, who is actually a director who has worked on the TV show Atlanta and oh, good grief, Ironheart. I was about to go dead. I was about to say how old I am. I was about to say Ironside, but Ironheart and a few other shows. And she plans on being at the show if she doesn't have to work. You know, unfortunately and stuff, you know, when you're as good as she is, you know, you can't turn down no jobs.
Right.
You know?
Question: How? Because you get these big name celebrities, and I know they don't go anywhere, you know, without some rider or compensation or whatever. So how is it that you've been able to keep this a free expo all these years and still have it be so high quality?
Well, the expo itself, it's basically me and people I actually know, and also our vendors. The vendor tables, basically, we use that for the finances that we have, you know, to pay for the mall, to pay for the tables and chairs. We've been doing this enough years now that we've slowly but surely started collecting audio and visual equipment, you know, and so I just basically, you know, cover, you know, whatever else is needed out of challenges, games, and comics.
Okay. Okay, cool.
But you know, I wanted to add that Tony's been around for so long that he just calls in favors. I don't know how he does it. That's really the key, is that and that's how he ropes people like me in. It sounds really cool idea, free, having fun. The kind of action that you only see at conventions where you have to pay big money to get in, and you just feel excited to be part of it. It's like, all right, I'll do it. Sure, Tony, why not? And next thing you know, you spend a lot of time at the comic book store.
You know, it's funny you say that because I met you by accident last year at the Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo. Yes. And so true story for everybody that's watching, that we were finishing up some panel or something, and I saw these really cool stickers on the table. And DTM, I didn't know him at the time, so I'm just being myself. I was like, oh, these are cute. I'm stealing these. And he goes, go ahead and take them. I was like, really? I can take these? And he goes, yeah, they're mine. And I was like, ooh, I wasn't really going to steal them. I was going to steal them. He's like, you can have them. And the artwork was so, and then we did a couple of, I think we did a panel here on blerdography, and you mentioned the word Tony, and it was over from there. And,
yep. And that's the kind of people that hang out around Tony. Talented people. Talented people like yourselves, like myself, and you know, of course, I'm not trying to brag, but there's a lot of cool people, and they see the fun that Tony brings to the comic book space, the gaming space, just the store itself is just a haven for all things pop culture. And so when a thing like Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo comes up, they're like, okay, how can I be down? What can I do? You know, so I'm pretty sure that Tony's built a lot of goodwill in Atlanta to be able to pull all these people together.
Yes, he has. And some of the relationships that I want to jump into first and talk about that help fill out this con is the indie comic world. You own a comic book shop, obviously, and in that time you have built a network and a following, and even created a couple comic book companies yourself, and built a network of talented writers and artists, inkers and pencilers and colorists, treasure trove of talent. So, who are some of these talented people that we might be able to see this weekend?
Oh, okay. Actually, that's the one question you caught me off guard on. I know we have a lot of publishers coming in and stuff. We've got Ro Lamb is coming in with a bunch of his stuff. The guys from Comicsburg are coming. We've got comics veteran Don Hillsman coming. I've known him since we were like teenagers. That's the thing and stuff too. It's like I always think that I wanted to try to draw, but then I had like friends like Joe Phillips who worked for Marvel in DC and Don who worked for Marvel in DC and CrossGen, and these guys like quickly convinced me. It's like, nah, Tony, you can't draw.
Yeah.
Don't even try to get it started. But like I said, we've got a lot of indie creators and stuff that are coming through. We've got William Siderite's coming through. John McGuire's coming through. Robert Jeffries coming through. Everybody with Indie Citizens coming through. If you local, you need to make sure that you're coming to the show. Plus, we got like a lot of authors and stuff coming through too, like Milton Davis. And like I said, let's see. Are you familiar with Dawood?
Anyabwile.
Yes, Anyabwile.
No, but I feel like I will be.
Have they ever heard of Brother Man?
Oh yeah,
Brother Man.
Brother Man.
Okay. I have heard of Brother Man. I didn't realize that that was their creation. Okay, they're gonna be there.
And he's also the animation director for a little, anime that's on, I believe, HBO. Starring a little black girl with magical powers. Oh, come on, Mark.
I don't have HBO.
Oh, I'll make y'all Google it.
Okay, you can just tell us because our audience wants to know which one you're talking about.
I will make you guys work on it. But no, he's like big time. All right, and he's also an Emmy Award winner. Okay, the other Emmy Award winner I got coming is Lauren Brown, who's a local artist that left us for a little bit and went out to Texas too. Apparently, that whole Georgia to Texas thing, for people in corporate, when you're doing artwork is a thing. But she's actually now the creative art director for Wizards of the Coast, which, for those of you who don't know, is the company that makes Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
All right, and they're going to be doing a panel and stuff involving artists in the corporate world. To kind of like inform artists and stuff about the best way to function. Because a lot of times and stuff, when you have those art skills, dealing in the corporate world is a little hard. So they're going to be out there, teaching y'all, the ropes on how to do it.
Right. And speaking as a corporate shill myself, there's a whole lot of people that still think they can create something impactful and high quality out of like PowerPoint. And I'm like, please stop doing that. Hire somebody, because your little commercial you put together is hot trash. And for the price of one corporate lunch, you could hire someone to do all of this for you. So there's definitely, I'm going to that panel because I got some things to add from the audience for sure.
All right, but then going back to the other extreme, so you got your veterans that are out there that are in the corporate world. All right, we've actually got a bunch of young college students coming from Georgia State University's comic book club. Okay, and they're going to be doing a panel on basically, how comic books influence careers in STEAM. All right, and you know how those college students are. This is gonna basically be like an essay class. Anything you think you might want to know and not want to know.
That's what's up.
I'm looking forward to checking that one out myself.
I think
but we still got the fun stuff too. There's gonna be panels and stuff on comic books. There's gonna be comic book trivia. There's gonna be Buffy the Vampire Slayer panels. We've got a bunch of authors in both comics and books that are going to be doing world building panels.
Wonderful. I'm excited to go to. I'm finally getting back the energy and the focus to write this novel trilogy that I've been talking about for like 5 years, that I've only written like the first chapter to. So the world building thing I definitely want to go to. And I want to thank you for allowing me to host my first panel ever in the nerd space.
Really?
Yeah, this is my first panel that I've been on panels and I've moderated panels, but this is my first like mind child panel creation. So I'm excited. It's called Soul to Soul, for folks that are wondering. I'm going to be doing the comparison between Black Americans and South Koreans, and because there's a lot there, and so it'll be fun.
Soul to soul, that's all right.
Wasn't there somebody who was pushing for that panel? Oh yeah, that was me.
Yes, yes, and thank you. I'm excited.
Oh, and to ask what just popped up, yes, Robbie will be there. Robbie's definitely coming to the show. Matter of fact, she's actually doing one of the panels on world building. And she's going to get into the psychology of world building. So she's going to get deep with it.
Yeah, her panel last year was really informative. I'm actually kind of upset I missed like the beginning part of it. So hopefully I'll be there this time.
You know, that's one of the things and stuff I like about a lot of times and stuff over the years of doing the expo. And I see panels that get their like little tryout here at the expo. And then later on and stuff, I see the same as the identical panel at Dragon Con and MomoCon. You know, so I was like, all right, you know, they work out the kinks with us, and then they move on up. You know, I got no problem with that. I'm all about everybody. You know, come on in, you know, work on them skills. And
You're
then
an incubator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. So what are you as the creator? I know you're gonna be ripping and running. There's a million things to do. You got to be in 12 places at the same time. But what are you most looking forward to? Like what got you geeked? Like when you for this year? Actually, and that goes to both of y'all.
You want to go with that, Dan? Since I've been talking for a bit.
Sure. Some of these panels and really, you know, I'm a professional artist. I've been doing comics, animation, and games for a long time. But I still feel like somebody else knows something else that I don't know. Yeah. And so some of these panels, as they've been working on the schedule, big ups to Kimmiko for putting in the work on figuring out the times, and it's still making sure that everybody gets a chance to share what they know. As you're looking at these panels, I'm trying to figure out like how can I record all of them so that I can watch them slowly on my own time later. But that's what's great about Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo is that for many years, my wife was a presenter. She ran workshops with Tanya Woods doing STEAM and Light Up Your Cosplay. So the combination of electronics and cosplaying working together to make cool things. And I have led some of the panel discussions in the past. So that's the part that brings me back to be involved and I'm a talker. I've been sitting here quiet because this is Tony's moment, but I'm a talker. I can go on and on and on. And I like to share the stuff that I know. And I only like talking about art. Like I said, let's talk about art and I'll go on all day. And so seeing some of these panels come to life for this next week is amazing. And yeah, I'm in. I don't care which panel it is. I don't want to miss any of them. Because I know there's always something that I did not know. You know, there'll be a word that you have not heard before. You're like, wait a minute, what is that? And then that puts you on a whole nother level afterwards.
Now, you mentioned my favorite word, cosplay. So I want to just catapult into the cosplay. What are you guys planning for cosplay and cosplayers for this year? Last year you had a fashion show. That was fun. You had a cosplay ball. How are you going to top that this year?
Well, to be honest about the whole thing, since they decided to throw a cosplay convention on our Saturday, and they were inviting all the cosplayers to that, we don't have anything really deep with cosplayers this year. You know, they've got, I'll go ahead and promote them, DaggerCon. They decided to throw DaggerCon on the Friday and Saturday. And so all the cosplayers are like, ooh, I can go to DaggerCon. And, you know, I even heard they started giving cosplayers free entry, you know, to get people to show up. So this year and stuff, we were like, okay, well, how many cosplayers are we going to really have? That's what we kind of like shifted. And it's like, hey, Lolita community, what y'all got going on with them cute little dresses and outfits? You know, so we reached out to, you know, the Lolita community and was like, hey, do you guys want to have a fashion show? And they were like, oh, yes, we want to have a fashion show. And actually, before the fashion show, we're going to have some belly dancers.
Mm.
All right. So we kind of like did a little shift this year. Since we weren't going to be able, you know, to draw in, you know, didn't want to compete with a big, you know, cosplay convention, we brought in some other entertainment.
Mm-hmm. But if you're a cosplayer, and want to go to a free convention, that's what we're for. Atlanta Sci-Fi at Northlake Mall. Come on through.
So I'm hearing Lolita, and I'm hearing belly dancers. Will there be anything for people that admire the male physique at any of this?
Okay. Well, how do you know they're not going to be male belly dancers?
Are there?
I have no clue.
You're gonna have Tony belly dancing. Come on.
Oh,
you know what? This is where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna hit up Dana in the Moana Nui podcast because I know they got some connections to some Pacific Islander dance troops, and see if we can see if I can't get that on the menu for.
Hold on now. Let me get the schedule here. I think I can work that in, and you got it.
Word. Okay.
We can put it right there on the stage.
Nice.
You know, we can put them in there before the belly dancers.
I love your flexibility. That's what's up. And then, Mark,
like I said, we're not going to be doing.
Hoochie Daddy contest? Mark, didn't you want to do the Hoochie Daddy contest?
That's at Blerdkast. They don't have that at ASFE.
They could.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to.
You talking to the man right there.
Let's see how it go at Blerdkast first.
Okay.
We'll talk about that for next year.
Okay.
Oh, and this year, like I said, we had the cosplay ball. All right, last year, but we're not going to have it this year because we weren't sure whether or not MomoCon was going to do their cosplay ball again the exact same time. Mm-hmm. All right, so what we're doing is that Dugan's Bar and Grill has come in as a sponsor.
Wonderful.
And we are having an evening after party at Dugan's.
And that's going to be Saturday night?
That's going to be Saturday night. So you still want to get your groove on, and there'll be plenty of food, and there'll be plenty of drinks for you to order. And like I said, if you get a little tipsy, we don't care because we got that hotel right across the parking lot for you.
Mm-hmm. And
we're actually at the hotel. We're going to have all-night gaming.
Okay. I think that's a great idea because, like you said, especially considering that some of us are not equipped to be up all night and then try to drive home, whether it's at Dugan's or just being up too late to have a hotel right there and be like, you know what, $99, let me get this corner room or whatever for the night. I think it's a great idea. And I haven't been to Dugan's since I was in like college. And so I think this is a good move on their part to try to bring back some of that reputation that they used to have because they used to be the spot. And I haven't heard about Dugan's in 10 years. So
like I said, remember the Dugans that we all used to go after we left the club down on Ponce? Mm-hmm. That's the exact same Dugans. That Dugans has moved here to Northlake.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So the party Dugans we all used to go to is now here at Northlake Mall.
That's what's up. So James is asking, what kind of all-night gaming?
Yes.
Board game, card games. You know, a lot of the gaming and stuff that we're going to be doing in our gallery area. Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, who have been in my store, just to give you like a size estimate, my store is like 8,000 square feet. The spot where we're going to have our dressing rooms, our panel rooms, and all of our gaming is 24,000 square feet.
Wow.
It used to be an old Navy back in the day.
Cool.
And they rewired the whole thing for the Emory Art and Science Gallery that was here. Mm-hmm. So even in the area besides the board game and the panels, we're also gonna have a bunch of STEAM events, and people are gonna be showing off their games, and there'll be electronic video games set up. We got everything set up for that gallery. So whether you're doing board gaming, card gaming, miniature gaming, video gaming, we got it all.
Man, I'm gonna have to roll out to my car and get a quick nap in so I can make sure I stay up all night for the rest of this stuff.
But no, like I said, I'm basically trying to do everything and stuff that you would get at a bigger con. So you can get the experience, because a lot of people, they can't go and get a membership at Dragon Con at $150.
Right.
Okay. You're definitely going to get in a hotel room with a breakfast for $99. But the hotel rooms are what, $300 a night?
Easy.
For Dragon Con?
If you can get one.
Okay.
Right, that's a steal for Dragon Con.
Right. So, this gives you a chance to get that experience for a fraction of the price. It's something and stuff like, young teenagers, even people in their 20s. Like I said, they can't afford to do those cons. So we're giving you that experience, without the expense.
Right. For Mark loves to talk about adult money. So for a lot of people that don't have adult money, meaning disposable income, coming to this con is a great experience. It's a great experience anyway. You could charge for it because it's nice. But the fact that you've been able to keep it free, one speaks to, as DTM was saying, the connections that you have, but also it's a great place for people to, maybe want to dip their toe, because Dragon Con can be overwhelming, and I went to MomoCon in December, and it was a lot of hiking. I'm like, I'm tired. I don't even want to go down there because I don't care what's down there because it's far. And so keeping it in a relatively compact place with all these things to do over a course, it's a quick hit of a con. With, like you said, with everything that you would get at a bigger con for none of the price. I mean, you got the hotel if you need it. You got, food and stuff. Of course, you're going to have to buy that. But just coming to enjoy and to see other people and find your community, I think this is a great. Convention for that.
Okay, well, speaking of which, yes, this show is free to attend, but please bring money.
Yes,
I've got 40 vendors. Okay. All right. I got 40 vendors that are here to show off and sell their wares. Please support the vendors, because if the vendors weren't paying for those table fees, there would be no show. Okay. They're the ones that are paying for all those tables and chairs and security and audio video equipment. They're paying for it.
And that's another thing,
like table money and more.
That's another thing that makes it so good, because you can show up for this con for free and get the same, drawings, stickers, Funko Pops, whatever that you would get at Dragon Con. But at Dragon Con, you got to pay $150, $200 something just to get a ticket to wait in line for 4 hours, right, to get into the vendors fair, where you can just walk in the Northlake Mall for free.
That's why I don't go to clubs anymore, because you got to pay to park, pay to get in the club, and then still pay $20 for a drink. Like, you spending your money just getting there.
Just to get there, yeah.
Yes, so I want to answer this question on screen. Who are some of the other vendors that are going to be there? Who can we spend our adult money on?
So you wanted me to have like a list of stuff here. I got 40 vendors. I don't know all them names. Okay. All right. But there will be books. There will be stickers. There will be art. There will be action figures. Jewelry. We got costumes. We'll have all that stuff.
The panelists will also have.
See, here's the thing. If I start mentioning some people's vendor names, other vendors going to be like, well, why ain't you mention me? Okay. So now you're not getting me in trouble with that. All right, give us a little while, and we're gonna throw that whole vendor list out there, because technically we are still signing up vendors as late as today. I have people coming to the store giving me money to sign up to be vendors for the show. So we're actually probably in a situation where we might have 40 plus vendor tables.
That's awesome.
So that's where we are now. So I need people to show up to support these vendors, because like I said, I have given you a whole bunch of entertainment for you to enjoy on the low or free. But you have to make my vendors happy. That's the number one thing. The vendors have to be happy, so they keep coming back and they keep promoting the show. Because
As the
you can't have
resident
a show without vendors.
As the resident rich auntie, I do my best to keep the vendors happy. But I do remember last year there was a girl helping her uncle or older cousin or whatever at his booth, and she had like a little tiny piece of it that she was selling, like some like K-pop stuff. And I was like, "What is this? I need more of this. Bring all of this." And the next day she came back and she had all her stuff, and I picked up a lot of things that I ended up either getting for other people or keeping for myself. So yeah, it's definitely worth going to the vendors fair. Matter of fact, Greg Burnham, I think, got me for several pieces as well, because he always gets me for money. I bought a couple of series of books. Some people had QR codes for books, and I was like, okay, I'm about to get this on Amazon. Make sure you get the money. So there's definitely bring money, bring cash, bring your phone pay thingy, whatever, credit cards, if you know how to handle, interest rates and whatnot. But yeah, you definitely want to come spend money.
And there's an ATM over by the vendor's booth.
There you have it.
And they also accept Apple Pay and Venmo and Cash App and Zelle. Trust me, I know. I've done it. They accept all forms of adult money, except checks for some reason.
Because checks are easy to forge. You're supposed to be bouncing checks. So I wouldn't take them
Do
either.
people still write checks?
Bad checks?
Oh, okay. I mean, most of my bills I pay online now. It's like, what's the reason to write a check?
Exactly.
Right. And speaking of more adult money, are you still accepting sponsors?
Oh yeah, we'll take sponsors any way possible.
We'll talk.
Just tell them that get in touch with us. Let us know what they want to sponsor.
Very cool.
We've already got. If you want to support some of the sponsors we've already got, they're already listed up on the website. Oh, and again, I want to mention the stuff for artists. If you were thinking about making that transition from your craft, you want to be a professional, there will be people there willing to look at your portfolios. All right, and if you're into manga, we actually have a few talented artists coming in from Saturday AM, which is the American manga company.
Cool.
And these are mangas that are created by African Americans and Africans that are like extremely high quality. And that company is always looking for new talent. As I mentioned before, we're actually going to have an art director there from, I don't know, Wizards of the Coast. You might be able to flash some work too.
That's awesome. So yeah, what did it say? Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So yeah, come down and try your luck. And be ready. Bring your stuff. Nothing is worse than meeting someone that you didn't realize you always wanted to meet and have empty pockets.
Oh, yeah. And there'll be plenty of authors there, and authors need what? Book covers. I actually had an author who was getting a table who came by the store today. He was asking me if I knew of any artist because he was looking, for his next 3 books. They needed an artist for the next 3 books. And I mentioned a young lady's name, and strangely enough, 10 minutes later, she walked into the shop. All right.
That's
so, opportunities are there. You just got to be ready to take advantage of them.
And I always be looking for them. But I know we wanted to show the layout of the whole expo. So, producer in the back, Miles, can you pull up the what's the word? The floor plan, please. See, this will happen when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the show. Like, I don't know. Hopefully when he gets back, he will recognize that he's in trouble and pull that up. But in the meantime, is there what is the flow? Because I remember there were rooms on the sides. There was a thoroughfare down the middle where the vendors were. There was something off to one side, and there it is.
Boom! Yay!
All right. Well, first of all, I want to mention to everybody and stuff for the expo. What you want to do is come to Northlake Mall. Okay, but you want to drive to the back entrance of the mall where it says Food Garden and come in through the food court. All right.
The lower level.
The lower level, especially if you are on like a wheelchair or an access vehicle. You want to come in on the lower level. But luckily, we've got everything on just the bottom floor. I'll go ahead and tell you stuff. When you come into the food court, that little pinkish area, that area is actually going to be set up where we're actually going to have live performances. All right, so you know when you go like to the Dragon Con and other stuff, and they got those bands playing. Yeah, we're gonna do that too. We're gonna have some performances for you.
Okay.
All right, so you get serenaded when you come into the mall. Then of course there's my shop, Challenges Games and Comics. At Challenges Games and Comics, we're actually going to be doing a Magic the Gathering tournament and two Warhammer tournaments that are going to be 2,100 point Warhammer tournaments. Wow. So the store gaming area will be thoroughly packed with that, but you can still come in the shop, Then we've got what we're calling the Grand Hall. The Grand Hall is where we're going to set up what looks like is going to be our 40 plus vendors.
Nice.
All right. All right. Then we've got right over there where you see where it's supposed to be the elevator. It don't work. Right next to it is the ATM machine. So let's just say that's not the elevator. That's the ATM machine right there.
Right.
All right. Then we have the grand staircase, which basically slopes down like an amphitheater. All right. We will have, this is where we will have our belly dancing, and we will also have our Lolita fashion show. And if people want to come in and stuff with their cosplay and walk through and have people talk about their cosplay, we can do that too.
Okay.
All right. Then we have this gallery area. Now, it's not one solid block. It's actually a group of rooms that are going to be here. These are going to be our panel rooms. And then right here is going to be where we're going to have.
You're saying right here, but nobody knows what you're pointing at.
Oh, that's right. It's not I'm not running this. But let's just say that the upper corner is where the panel rooms are.
Where the gallery is?
Yes. Okay. And the left part is where our giant dressing rooms are, which come with like mirrors and stalls and everything else. So everybody can get ready for the Lolita fashion show and the belly dancing.
Okay.
All right. And the Macy's, yes, they're going to be leaving in April. So they're having sales. So you can sneak in there for a little bit and get you some stuff going on discount.
Word.
And that's pretty much the layout. Oh, and then of course the aqua green when you come in are the bathrooms, which are very important.
Yes. Okay.
All right. And then upstairs outside is the Dugans. And actually, if you're not feeling, bar food, right next to that is the Caribbean restaurant. And then right in the parking lot, which is basically where our, ASFE logo is a new Jimmy and John's that just opened up. So you can get your barbecue.
Okay.
All right, so you can get you some Caribbean food, some bar food, some barbecue, or, my favorite, the Tokyo Express, where you get a big container of food for only $10. You get 2 meats and a vegetable or 2 vegetables and a meat, your choice.
I have a dumb question. Very dumb question. Let's say I show up Saturday and I park at the food court and I'm having fun and I'm going through the con enjoying things and I make my way up the Dugans to the after party. Will I have to walk all the way around the mall to get back to my vehicle at the food court, or will the mall just let me walk back through and get to the food court that way?
They will not let you walk through. We are shutting everything down at 7:00. So if you're a vendor, you need to be out by 7 so we can secure all of your belongings. And then if you've got something that's like really expensive, you don't want to leave it, take it home. If not, I can actually make arrangements and stuff to store it for you inside of Challenges, because we all know that I have security and cameras.
And so, like, if you're worried about having to walk all the way around the mall, you could come out, move your car over to the Dugan side and go in that way, so that when you come out, the car is there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like
or
I said,
you can walk off all that food.
Right.
and we'll be taking over their whole patio session. So we will be like partying under the starlight.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be fun. That sounds like fun. And are they still doing the karaoke thing too?
Oh yeah, they're doing the karaoke. That's going to be on Sunday in the food court.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The food court area is where we're going to let everybody do their bellowing.
I'm definitely doing karaoke on Sunday in the food court.
Me too. Definitely doing that.
Yeah.
Definitely doing that. Joy, since you mentioned that you had a panel Soul to Soul, I would like to talk about that a little bit more. Because we've talked about this before on the channel, but I want to just go in a little bit more detail. Who are you going to have on your panel? And who are you going to have on your panel?
Okay. Well, the inspiration for this panel was me being like getting into K-dramas 3 years ago and into K-pop 2 years ago. And now I got my little fan favorites and all that kind of stuff. I even went to a concert. And this is somebody who don't like people and don't like being outside. And I went to a concert at Truist Park so I could see Stray Kids. And I'm listening to them and I'm watching all this stuff and I'm hearing all these similarities and I'm picking up, because I don't like to just be a blanket consumer. I like to pick up some of the culture of something else that I don't understand. And I'm watching parallels because I'm old enough to remember a lot of things. And I'm looking at the history in some of these like period pieces of K-dramas that talk about the Joseon dynasty, the occupation by Japan. And I'm thinking about Jim Crow South and the end of the slavery era for Black Americans. And I'm thinking about struggle meals that got turned into delicacies. And the same thing happening with like jjajangmyeon and some other things that Koreans eat as comfort food. You know, there's their version of soul food. And then, you know, I thought Soul to Soul, SEOUL, SOUL. I am going to have a co-host on my panel, Phil the Blurred Explorer, who lived in Korea for 6 years as an English teacher, has agreed to be my co-host. And so we're going to be doing that panel together. And so he'll be able to bring more word on the street. Like, this is what I really saw. Also, the connection between, specifically from a K-pop standpoint, R&B and K-pop in its current iteration. Even a discussion around like the commoditization of culture. It's going to be more than just who wrote the best song and all that kind of stuff, or who had the best food. There will be discussions around like, you know, like fried chicken and who does it better, because I want to make sure the audience stays engaged. But it's going to be a chance to learn some stuff, especially since the Korean wave is still riding high. Come learn a little bit about it, as opposed to just liking a song and not knowing anything else. And I'm hoping to pick up a lot of people from both demographics as well as anybody else that likes either side of that, because I'm big on people of color really being a cohesive group. And I want to stop a little bit of the culture wars that I see happen online all the time. Oh, we do this, we'll do that, we've perfected this, we started that. Hey, we all in this together, and we all understand the oppressive history that we have, that we share. So let's squash the beef and get to popping together. So that's the goal. But yeah, me and Phil are going to 6'7", not that 6'7" ounces, but he if you know who he is, he's going to be there as well. And I think we're on Sunday at 3. I forget exactly when. We're on the schedule though. Kimmiko told me. At least I think she told me. So did I answer your question, Mark, about my panel?
Yes, it did. It definitely did. Thank you. I saw another comment. So are there going to be any celebrity guests? I know you mentioned a few, but are there going to be any more that we can speak of? Is Tasha Scott going to be there? She's always at the cons in Atlanta.
We haven't heard back from Tasha.
Okay.
We haven't heard back from Tasha. But let's say, yes, I will let you know right now, I can get you guys celebrities, but you ain't going to have a free con. Okay, like James Pax. I don't know if you guys, you probably don't know him by name, but who remembers Big Trouble in Little China?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Who remembers Lightning?
I love Raiden. Lightning. Is he going to be there?
No. Because y'all ain't paying for a membership. I can get him here. He talked to me in person this week. wanting to come to the con. But it's a free con.
Mark is going to be there.
Hey, if somebody...
He's a celebrity.
I am not a celebrity.
I
am only known on this show and this show alone.
I'm a celebrity. I'm going to be
right.
there. I was in Drumline.
Like I said, if you're a Star Trek fan, I can call up, Ciroc Lofton. I know Ciroc Lofton. I got his phone number. I can get him to the con, but he gonna want some what? Money.
Right.
Get him a room, Tony, at the True, man. And some liquor.
He gonna need a little bit more than that. Okay. All right. Did any of you guys work on what was it, Urban NerdCon? Okay. You remember Anthony Montgomery was there, right? And Ciroc Lofton were at Urban NerdCon. You know who hooked that up, right? That was me. All right. But one of the things I've learned about doing shows, you can get celebrities in, but celebrities have got guaranteed money they want to make.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's their job, yeah.
So when they go to a show, they want to make a minimum of $3,000 in autographs.
And if they don't make that, you got to cover the difference, right?
Right. If they don't make that, I have to cover the difference. All right. And what is this again? It's a free con.
So to answer the question, no, there will not be any big name celebrities there.
Excuse me, didn't I just talk about 2 Emmy Award winning people?
Yes.
You got you an Emmy?
Nope.
Okay. I got you 2, not 1, 2 Emmy Award winners coming.
Not to mention all the authors, writers, artists, everybody else.
We have future celebrities.
Celebrities is more than actors.
Yeah. Right. Future celebrities, creators, and authors. That's right. They're gonna be celebrities in the. That's right. In the future, you're gonna see them on TV and see all the movies. And be like, I remember them at the mall. They were trying to sell me their book.
Right. You're gonna want to hold on to Hotep's autograph or RJ's autograph. It's gonna be worth a lot of money someday.
That's
or
right.
Blerdography's autograph.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go. See, Mark. That's right. So that's an opportunity to come and hang out and see the up and coming creators right now today.
Like I said, hey, if you guys want to give me $150 for 4 days, I can get you a bunch of celebrities. I can do that.
But it's going to take, but you're going to need I'm just thinking of business. If you're going to need a minimum number of people to pay that money in order to guarantee the celebrities. And this is where people don't understand how something they try to get started and it costs money. And then they end up having to offer refunds because something gets canceled. It's because they don't hit that threshold. And you don't have to worry about that because it's a free con. But the other side effect of that is you're not going to get major household name recognition at a free con. But what you are going to get is community, fun, informational sessions, panels that are not so overcrowded. Because one of the things that I don't like about Dragon Con is you pay all this money and you find a panel you want to go to and you get there and it's closed because the line is too long and you can't go in, and it's not happening again. It was one shot and you missed it. And I think that's bogus. And I think the balance that you have of attendees and full day of schedules, you never feel like you have to miss something, which is worth its weight,
Trust me, cons are at a very expensive proposition. It's like we did the cosplay ball last year at the Hilton. Okay, and we had the ballroom, right? I'll be straight with you guys. Anyone have any idea what that ballroom cost us?
I'm gonna say $20,000.
No, it was cheaper than that because I negotiated a lot harder. But it was $6,000, and we had to purchase $3,000 worth of food.
Wow. So $10,000. That's a lot. That's a lot to be coming out of a con that you're not necessarily generating money from. Have you ever thought about creating a 501c3 foundation and getting grants to keep this con free?
Yes, but even after you get that listing, you still have to get the sponsors.
Right.
And that's not necessarily an easy thing to do. Because there's already 501(c)(3)s already in existence that are already in line ahead of you.
Good point.
And I think that there's something
Dan knows
to
about that.
Yeah. Well, I want to jump in and talk about that part a little bit because I've worked with nonprofits. We are a nonprofit ourselves, Buttercup's team and Artist King, which is something that my wife and I have been supporting for almost 20 years. And so what we found that works for us is to invest the time in the community and following our passion versus running a business. And that's the risk you take. So right now we have Tony here in person. You can stop by the store and see him. And then during the con, he's there. He is involved. This is a thing that he is supporting the community with. But once you get to the level where you're focused on raising money and in the grants and the constant paperwork, that's when I don't know. I found it for myself, and my wife feels the same way, is that now we're stressed about the money and it becomes this big stress thing, and you don't enjoy the thing anymore. You kind of lose the focus of that passionate connection about this fandom, and now I know that I haven't been rich enough to be tempted by the dark side, but things happen to people who come across a lot of money, and so I think that that's the advantage that we have, is that Tony's focused on making it free, whatever it takes. We're gonna all volunteer and put in our time, and yes, there's opportunity out there, but will it still be the same cozy feeling that you get when you come through? You know, banners are cool, big old signage, and billboards across the highway and commercials and all that is great, but after a while, then you feel like literally a number. Your
It
ticket
loses
is a
its soul.
number. Yeah. And so then what is your focus? What do you want? How do you want to invest your time? Do you want to invest your time with people? And if you stop by the store and you've been there, you see Tony will talk to anybody who walks through the store for 5 to 10 minutes. And if they are not in a hurry, they stand there for an hour talking. Like that's Tony's passion, is to talk about the pop culture. And you will lose that once you really you get to a different level where now it's you have to make that budget. You have to make that budget. So anyway, I figured this is the time for me to say something about that.
That was great. That was great. You make a really good point. I mean, if you got that big, then you're competing with Dragon Con, which isn't the point. And they've gotten so big that it's I don't meet anybody at Dragon Con. I roll with the people I came with. I met life-changing people at Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo last year. And I made connections that I would not have made because there's just too much churn. And I'm using Dragon Con. That's really the only other one that I majorly go to. I just started going to like MomoCon and AWA.
Yeah.
But and even those they're bigger. They're kind of a good in between. But you're right. This feels more. I would say Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo feels more like upstart opportunity.
A passionate community.
Looking out for each other.
That's right. Yep.
Together. Yeah. Real connections.
Yeah.
I need to thank y'all for connecting me again to Hotep, because I hadn't seen him since we graduated college together back in the 90s.
What?
Spelman. And then I'm walking past the vendor street and I hear Joy, and I turn around like, I know you. And I was floored. What'd you say?
Yeah. So Hotep went to Spelman?
Hotep went to Morehouse.
Tony's funny. I remember Hotep from the 90s and Hustlers University. He was always selling that book. Yep. I used to have a tattoo shop in the West End a long time ago, and I remember those days too.
Yeah, he's been about his dream, his passion for since I've known him, and I'm really proud of him, what he's done.
Sharing that entrepreneurship. That's right.
So Dan, you mentioned the whole passion versus profit aspect of running a nerdy business, and a convention like Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo is a business. But there are multiple ways you can run a business, and I do commend Tony and yourself for bringing the passion forward, because when you do go through the con, it doesn't feel like a small con. It feels like something that somebody who has a lot of connections and a lot of friends and a lot of favors was thrown in, and you just meet some of the most interesting and wonderful people. I know Arthur Bobby Nash is going to be there, and he's always been not only a supporter of you and your store, but like he's just a nerd himself and is always at all the cons in Atlanta. I know Robert Jeffries is going to be there, RJ Atkins, Bobby, African American manga creator. So many wonderful people is going to be there. You got so many wonderful people that are volunteering just to help you run the convention, like Dana Morgan from MomoCon. She can do so many things, and the fact that she jumped on to help you do this, that's amazing too. So you have the passion there, and it shows.
I did text Dana while we were talking, and she said she's going to look for a male dance team. So, hopefully, as Faith on stage is still there. But yeah, Dana can. She's the magical woman. Like, she can do anything and everything. But just to add to your discussion, Mark, around passion versus profit, you mentioned Tony has all these connections and he calls in favors. I want to tweak that just a little bit. He has connections to a lot of people that have achieved things in this nerdy space that he reminds to come for the love of the event and for the love of the culture, in a way that, like, I know just my own business. I run my own business. And if you want me to come speak at your company or whatever, or you want me to help you with your resume and all this other kind of stuff, I charge money for that. And I don't negotiate on the price. It is what it is. Either you want me or you don't. And I'm glad that I've achieved that level in my private business, but I also do freebies, and I don't do it just because somebody called in a favor. I do it for the love of helping someone, the love of the person individually. I have done so many of my nieces and nephews' first resumes and whatnot, not because it was a favor asked of the person asked me, reminded me that what I felt like when I needed to get my resume done, or I just really want to be involved. And I think that's what Tony brings out of a lot of people is, you can be super fancy and still want to meet people face to face and feel there's no pressure to outperform or meet a goal or whatever. They're just showing up for love of the culture. And I think that's why Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo is so special. You can
see the passion and when Tony talks and speaks about what he's doing and why he's doing it, and that draws you in. What you don't see is Tony talking about he needs another donation so that he can buy his next jet. Like that's where what draws people in is that he's doing it because it's for the people. It's because his passion is the culture. His passion is the comics, the gaming, the gamers, the people who have put this together, not just the ones who get to enjoy the content, but those who create the content, the writers, the authors, the artists, all of that. And so that's it. You're right. That is exactly how I feel. The same way. Yep. You feel like, sure, Tony, whatever you need, man. What day I'll be here. I'm coming.
What I will say, if you want to come by Challenges, Games, and Comics and make some purchases, I will not feel bad. I don't have a jet, but I've got this 1996 Toyota Tacoma. Okay. And she unfortunately went in the shop last week. Okay. So yeah, and anybody who knows me knows I ain't spending no money on fashion. So
no, so we need some
Star Trek t-shirts.
Yeah, So what I will mention though, since people were talking about getting grants and everything, strangely enough, if you guys actually sell out the True Hotel using our link, there is a very good chance that I can get some money from the DeKalb County group.
Okay.
But you guys got to show up and rent them rooms for just $99 and get you a free hot breakfast for everybody in your room.
Nice.
So that is something I will push. The expo can get a little something if you give a little something.
We were talking about this, Mark, about getting the hotel rooms for cons, right? Close by. It helps you to be on site faster and easier. And if you forget something, you ain't got to drive all the way back home. It's across the street. So
That's true. That's
Especially
true.
if you're doing cosplay. You know, you're changing outfits. You know, nothing else and stuff. You got the hotel room so you can restock.
Right, just leave everything in there. Not to mention, again, you know, you ain't got to walk 6 blocks back to your hotel or catch the train to get home or something. You can just hoof it across the street. Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, get a hotel room for the convenience of it.
And it helps the expo.
I'm here for it.
That's the most important part. That is the most important part.
Because you guys know and stuff, it's like there's a lot of cons and stuff that get in trouble because they'll book a con at a hotel and then they're supposed to like sell a certain amount of room blocks. And then if they don't fill up them rooms, then the hotel's like, yep, let me get that 30,000 from you.
Yep.
And I know people that are still paying off that 30,000.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, and that's their standard. Like I remember from my old corporate days, we would do our national sales meeting, and we had to have a certain number of people, a certain number of rooms booked in order to get the discounts on like the food and the catering and everything else. And if you didn't hit that number, the price for all the food and catering, which was mandatory, would double.
So anybody out there that thinks running a con is easy, it is not.
It is not.
It is not. But again, we do it. And by we I mean y'all do it for the love of the culture.
Right.
We can add you to the we.
You know what? I'm feeling like I want to be in on the we. You know, maybe I don't know. My gift is talking. So you know, moderator, PR, voice, whatever. I'm in. I'm down.
Dan can tell you in a minute. I say all the time, I have no problem stepping down from being president.
No, I don't want to do that. That sounds like a lot of work. I like a little work.
Oh my God! Speaking of the work that goes into running a con, I've talked to a lot of con directors and runners, showrunners. I know the con is next weekend, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you: have you started planning for next year? Because I know you have.
No. They had to talk me into doing this again. All right, let's go back. Was it 2018? All right, we did the first show back in 2018. I'll be straight up. I did the show just to see if I could do the show because earlier that year, I was hanging out with the director of Sci-Fi SummerCon, which no longer exists, and also Trek Atlanta, which no longer exists. And I'm going to admit, I was a bit of an asshole because I thought in my head, if these guys can run a show, I can run a show. All right. So I got together with my staff. You know, I called up my buddy Tanya Woods because Tanya don't fail at nothing. If she decides she's going to do something, it's going to happen. Okay. And we basically decided we were going to start up the Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo. Okay. One of the things I was going to do, even though the people basically, you know, running it were going to be people of color, this is going to be a show for everybody. Which is one of the problems and stuff too, is like, we got all these outstanding, you know, guests of color. And you know why? Because that's all the people I know.
Yeah.
I ain't met enough white people. But,
it is what it is. Yeah.
But,
you know your community.
Yeah, you know your community. But yeah, I just wanted to do the show to see if I could do the show. I did the show. When we are packing up from doing the show, I had vendors coming to me talking about how great the show was and how much money they made, and if I could do another one in 6 months. Okay, I politely said, hell no. Okay, but this is a lot of work. Okay, we get back in and we're having our, like, you know, cool down meeting, and my staff is like talking about all the improvements we can make and what we're gonna do next year. And I'm sitting there like, what are y'all talking about? And they're like, oh yeah, we got to do this, and this. And then I'm like, okay, I guess we do. My game plan was 1. Now we're about to hit 8 or 9. So, you know, It was not my plan to get into the convention business. I just want to see if I could do it. But everyone loves it, so I keep coming back to do it.
Okay.
I do it because you guys tell me you want it, and that's why I do it.
You're selling yourself short. Like, your con has survived a pandemic. It's come back from the dead. Like, people want this. It's a small community con. It's a bunch of talented people of different backgrounds, BIPOC individuals, and it's fun. Like Joy said, we just get to meet people and actually have conversations. I can't really do that at a Dragon Con or MomoCon, and I'm impressed. I get to literally go and talk to people, but I don't get to have a personal connection with Dr. Glenn Paris, who I am looking forward to seeing, because I got to ask some questions about his chapter of Space Funk and why it compares to Black AF history so well. I just want to have that conversation with him. I feel like.
Well, have you read his dinosaur book?
I have not yet.
Oh, you got to read his dinosaur book.
I will purchase his dinosaur book this year.
Yeah, he's got some wild stuff out there. And like I said, I know Glenn from like way back.
Yeah, he's told me the stories of the two of y'all. I can't wait to put that video up. But yeah, I know the two of y'all go way back, and it shows, because when he talks about you, is nothing but love and friendship there.
And one of the things, so too, like I said, I'm always amazed about the people and stuff that can use both sides of the brain. I look at Glenn, and he's a doctor.
Yes,
he's still out there writing fantasy books. You got people like Milton Davis. The man is a chemist, has run his own chemical company, and he's a writer and a creator. These are the people that I'm amazed about, that they can access, all this tech and creativity at the same time.
Before we go, let me ask you this question, Tony, because you are this nexus point of like nerddom in general. People come to your shop. You see a bunch of talented people who are kids who grow up and become these adults who've accomplished things.
You're like Professor X with Cerebro. You just be fine.
Right. Yes. You are the Professor X of Black nerds and BIPOC creators everywhere. What is it like being in your shoes, like knowing that you have this power to not only draw people together, but people come to you and consistently come to you throughout their life for advice, for help, for tips, for networking, for this and that, and you have sat back and seen so many people grow up. Like I went to your shop when I was in middle school, high school, Magic cards, and now I've run my own YouTube channel. What is it like for you? I know that was a weird 20-year span. What is it like for you being in your shoes?
It just makes me feel old. Literally, it's like the last 2 weeks, what were kids, teenagers, early teenagers, used to come to my store, all right, have now started coming and hanging back out at the store the last 2 weeks. And these are now 40-year-old men with kids who have got grown kids. Okay. And of course I joke with them. It's like, how did you guys look older than I do? Because like I said, they got gray and they, missing hair. And I'm just like, so I get to tease them, But it's the fact and stuff that, they have grown up, and I look at what they're doing with their lives and how they're raising their kids. And I feel good because with a lot of these kids and stuff, I help keep them off the streets. They were able to come in my store and be a nerd. And they also had that code switching down.
Yeah.
But they'd be inside my store and they'd be talking, who would win between the Hulk and the Sentry and all this other stuff, and playing all these games and throwing down Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Then they step out the door and a young lady will walk by and they'd be like, yo, what's up, y'all? And I'm just be like, did he just do that? But yeah, I get the good feeling of that and stuff. It's like, I knew these guys win. And, now to see them in their careers and stuff like that. I had one kid and stuff recently came in here and he started off in middle school, and now he's working in a Washington think tank.
Wow.
And I'm just like, okay, but he was developing his strategy skills right here on the tables in my shop.
I'm gonna get you some Wolverine claws and call you Old Man Tony.
I'm surprised you don't have a
Godfather of Atlanta nerds. Yeah.
Shout out to Nerdy Bear Studios, who's in the live chat. Shout out to him. Yes, he does have his own video gaming studio space. I've done interviews with him. He's an amazing guy. Did not know he frequented your shop, so that's very interesting to know. I'm gonna have to come up there tomorrow.
Well, in that case, then I have the question of is like, why aren't they running events here at the Expo?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, you might need to talk to him about that.
And I will.
I do have access to 24,000 square feet with power.
And you're still accepting panels and vendors and sponsors. So yes, Nerdy Bear Studios. You should.
We want to get it out this week, but it's not out yet. So there's still time. DTM, before we go, what are you most excited for this year?
Seeing some of these panels and the return of a lot of the vendors that we saw last year.
Yeah,
it was great to see, because last year was like you said, ASFE survived the changing of the times, the COVID, the pandemic, all those things. And so seeing all those vendors last year was pretty cool. We walked around. I have a couple interns. We walked around and interviewed a lot of the vendors, and it was funny seeing some of those interviews recently, because we're using it to promote this year's Sci-Fi Expo. And a couple of the people we were asking, well, where do we find you online? And they're like, well, we're still building our website, or they had no answer, because they were taking a leap into following their passion, getting a table, bringing their wares, and putting themselves out there. And so it was very exciting to see a place like the Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo give a chance to young entrepreneurs to try out the thing that they want to do. And this is something that I'm very passionate when it comes to artists themselves, is those artists who say that they want to make art their business. And I'm like, okay, well, you know how to draw, you know how to create, you know how to do certain things. Do you know how to charge? Do you have a portfolio? Do you have a presence? Do you have all these things, right? And so I don't want to pressure any vendor about it, but I do ask the question, like, where do we find you? Like, where are you going to be? Where can people find these things that you're selling? And so seeing that leap of faith last year, I want to know what they're doing now. Like, how did that develop? What have they done since, and in the past year, to put themselves in a position where they're thriving or working through the kinks of running a business. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward.
That's what's up. I feel like I just did. It was last weekend. Did the business of content creation. That is definitely something nerds need, is a lesson in business etiquette, how to set your prices, how to charge correctly for your time, effort, and energy. We can be passionate as much as we want and just do art for the sake of doing art, but we also need to learn how to monetize these things so we can become businessmen and women out there. So that actually might be something I need to look into. But thank you for putting all this together, and thank you, Tony, for just being your amazing self and just willing to put your name on the line again for Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo and just bring it into fruition. I think it's something we need in the community, and obviously something that is well liked and received, because so many people keep demanding you bring it back every year. So thank you so much for hosting it and putting your not your adult money, your business money out there, and making this con free for everyone to come and participate and be a part of this community. With that said, is there any lasting words that either the two of you like to say before we bounce out of here?
Well, actually, I was going to mention the stuff while we were doing this podcast, James Lightning Pax just hit me up about coming to next year's show. So I need all of you guys and stuff to make sure you come to the expo this year. Make sure the vendors make money. So next year, I can get you guys the celebrity guests you want. It's all up to you. If you want celebrity guests and you still don't want to have to pay an entry fee to get here, come support my vendors so I can charge them more money and we get some celebrities out here.
Yo, I've had a crush on him since Big Trouble in Little China, and I do have my own business, and a concerning lack of responsibility. I might sponsor him through my business next year to come.
Oh, we can make that happen. We can make that happen. Actually, this is the 40th anniversary of Big Trouble in Little China.
This year?
Yes. This year is the 40th anniversary. It don't seem like that long, but it's been 40 years.
Wow.
I feel like he's going to be at Dragon Con this year, too. I'm going to look out for that. But thank y'all so much for coming on. Please, everyone watching, please go check out Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo. Check out their website, AtlantaSciFiExpo.com. They're on Facebook. They're on, TikTok, Instagram, all the social media, Threads. They everywhere.
Dan were on all those things because I wasn't going to keep up with all those social media. That's all Dan.
Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it. You're welcome. That's right.
But yes, please check them out. Please subscribe. Please come out to Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, March 14th and 15th. I'll be there. Joe will be there. Dan and Tony will be there. They gotta be there. You gotta let us
all be there. So if you have a love for nerdy things and you're looking for a community, and you want to actually meet people, come to the expo.
Yes, definitely come. Nerdy Studios, I better see you there next weekend. I know you in the comments. And yes, Lavender Bunny, I see you also. You didn't miss it. You're gonna be there too. I want to make sure you're there. But join us later this week. We will be in Virginia, Alexandria to be more specifically, Expo 2026. So much fun stuff is going to happen this weekend. So much debauchery might happen this weekend, but hopefully Joe will keep me in.
I am riding herd on all of y'all because y'all on the clock. We there representing the press. Don't embarrass me.
Oh no! I'm not going to embarrass myself doing press.
I said don't embarrass me.
Oh, that is different. I can't make any promises on that. But
is he embarrassing you if he does or does not participate in debauchery?
The debauchery has its place. That doesn't bother me. But show up where you're supposed to be and don't embarrass me there. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I got you. I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know. But yeah, the next live show will be the Blerdkast post show in 2 weeks. So please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And ending this month on March 30th, we have a very special, a very big episode of Blerdkast Live. So please like and subscribe so you don't miss out for that. But until then, I'll see y'all at Blerdkast this weekend.
And we see you at the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo, March 14th and 15th, right here in Atlanta. Don't miss it.
Wait a minute. One quick question. Does the voice actor Bob Carter count as a celebrity?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so we got a celebrity. There he is.
All right,
there you go.
Voice actor, anime, video games, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, we got that. So we got the celebrity.
Boom.
All right, perfect. James, roll the outro.
Yeah. Be somebody tonight. Yeah. I love it how you move it, how you wind it up. We can jump into it, we can line it up. We can stay slow with you, me. We can stay slow with you, me. Yeah. Be somebody tonight. Doing that dance, digging that dance. I love. Be somebody tonight. Be somebody tonight. Pull up on me. We've got so much to see. Maybe I can show you now. Tear your top with the top down.